My name is Arif Saad, and I'm a senior investment strategist. I've been working in the investment industry for over 14 years now. And the story that I wanted to tell was about imposter syndrome. What I'd like to communicate to young people who are entering the investment industry is that imposter syndrome is real. And it's something that you've really got to battle against and do your best to overcome in order to be successful. One of the ways that I thought that I could do that was by becoming more senior, both at my organization and within the industry, and be successful. But the story I wanted to tell was when I felt like a fish out of water, even when I'd reached that senior position, but those feelings of imposter syndrome were still very much there. So I remember leading a client meeting and discussing our investment proposition at a client's offices whilst we were on video with some of the other clients in a different location. And a bizarre situation came up where the client on the phone said, "Oh, those guys, they don't." And the person sitting next to me stopped what the person was saying, kind of interrupted them before they kind of finished their sentence. And we continued on with the meeting. Now, the meeting went well. We did a great job. And we're walking back to our office with two of my colleagues. And I jovially said, "Oh, wasn't that really funny when that guy said, 'Oh, those guys don't look like what I thought they look like,' or 'they don't sound like what I thought they were going to sound like.'" That's what I thought that person was going to say. And I thought it was quite humorous saying this to my colleagues. And the two of them looked at me really awkwardly. And one of them said, "Why would you say that? Or why do you think that? That's not what he was going to say." And I replied back, "Oh no, definitely. That was definitely what they were saying." Again, speaking really jovially, feeling like I was in a safe space to talk about what was potentially quite an awkward situation about kind of race and different cultures. But the colleague was adamant, absolutely not. That was not what he was going to say. And I remember looking at my other colleague who looked down, didn't really want to engage in that conversation, and felt that they were really uncomfortable about what I thought was a comfortable conversation that the three of us could have. So we continued to walk back to the office, and panic really struck. Why did I say that? What do they now think of me? What effect could that have on my future career progression? Do they think I have a chip on my shoulder? And all these feelings that I thought I had put to bed much earlier in my career had risen up really quite aggressively in this particular situation. And I remember being quite panicked about it really for a couple of weeks. But having spent some time reflecting on that, what I would say to young people kind of coming into the industry now is that you've really got to push against that. How would I have dealt with that situation differently at that time? Well, I think I would have called it out. That was my experience. That's what I thought that they were saying. Me being in the shoes that I am and having the life experience that I've had, that's what I perceived was happening. And that's just as valid as anybody else's opinion. Just because it made them feel uncomfortable doesn't mean that what I said wasn't valid or didn't have credit. So really my message is there will be times where you feel like a fish out of water. And imposter syndrome is real, but we do have to call out those situations. And you do have to recognize that what you're bringing has value, is valid, and is a real credit to yourself, your work colleagues, your employer, and the industry. Thank you.